And good morning, China. Good morning, the world. Good morning, everyone, to Let's Talk China. And we got an interesting panel today, as you can see in the corner there. We got Gweilo 60 that's joined the show. NICO from where are you from? Where's NICO from again, guys? What city? Is she from Beijing?
Yeah,
Beijing,
from
yeah.
Beijing.
Beijing. And Alex
I thought
Absolute
England, but
is part of the panel. And we have a couple people behind in the backstage, which will be joining the show later. And for all you This is China fans out there, do not worry, Jerry will be on the program today. So sit tight. And we got lots to cover today. And we got also Zhao in from Chongqing. She will be joining us too to give us her thoughts on what, the topic of the show today is what we like and dislike about China. We deliberately removed the word hate because that is not part of our program. Gweilo 60, welcome to the show. I'm going to start it off with you. And before I get to that, everybody who's watching the show today, what you can do is to help us out, hit that little thumbs up button there. We call that the like button. And also, what you can do is if you see the share button in there down below in your little description box, just click the share easily. You don't have to leave the program. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, to all your friends. And with one click, they can come in and join the show too. All right, so we're going to move on with this. And it's nice to see Gweilo all nicely shaven, ready to go for Saturday's show, sir.
Oh yeah, just skook them here, boy. One of the things that I think is really disturbing in China is the way that they spell things on their shirts. Like look at my shirt here. I bought a NICO shirt and it came out Nike. I don't get it. But you cruise up behind somebody and they're wearing a jacket and it's all of these letters and just put in there randomly, and you try to make sense out of it. It's like. It's disturbing. It's one of those things that has always sort of gotten my goat over the years. It's just like, holy smokes! If you don't know how to phone somebody in Canada or even England, and they'll help you spell it. Don't phone an American. Oh yeah, sorry.
The lovely NICO. NICO, how's your
Hi,
week been
guys.
going? And thank you for taking part of your Saturday to join us.
Thanks for having me back. I had a very good time last time. Yeah, it was really good. My week's been very busy as always, but that's the fun of living and working in China.
It seems like everybody is really getting back now to work in China. As I speak to all of you guys individually, you kind of, most of the panel and the people that are waiting backstage, they're like, yeah, we can do a test studio on Friday, but we're all back to work now. We're back, and I've heard it from everybody. So that means things are gearing back up there in China. We're going to move over to Alex. Alex, tell us, how's your week been going so far, sir?
hey, good morning. Yeah, I seem to be the only person who's not back to work yet. I think it's coming. It's definitely coming. Lots of my friends in the same city are already back to work. Actually, today is a lot of people are going back right today. But they're going around and they're currently kind of checking. I know that they have to go through this whole checking process, and there's been a few problems with some schools because they're going through health and safety stuff at the same time. But
Okay.
yeah, everything is good. Life is great.
Well, fantastic. So we're gonna dive right into this topic because I'm certain everybody has something to say on this matter, and just want to do a little bit, a couple shout outs to everybody that's joined our channel today. And remember, we are actually 6 channels, 5 streaming. One will be streaming soon as Chongqing gets their channel up and rolling so that they can live stream to the public, and we'll be helping them out with that. Look forward to that as well. You're going to see some comments that come up through live chats, through super chats on the screen, and other viewers might be wondering, hey, I didn't see that in my chat box. What's going on? Well, what's happened here is we've managed to stream these individually, all these channels, through everyone's YouTube channels or Facebook channels and so on and so forth. So what you can do is, if you're interested in the panel and the upcoming panel, like This is China and Zhao from Chongqing, what you guys can do is hit that good old subscriber button below. That helps out the content creators here on YouTube. So we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to say hello to a couple of my cool people from behind. All of the people are cool. But just want to say hi to Caliber Wings, who is one of my moderators. And I have this little rule for moderators. Let it flow, guys. Of course, we're going to get some people in here that don't necessarily love everything that we say. Let them speak. But if it gets a little bit too crazy, we know what to do. So, Gweilo, you put a video out yesterday about this topic. And, what's the dislikes and likes?
It was on Thursday, actually. I was riding my e-bike. Well, actually, it wasn't my e-bike. It's my wife's e-bike because my e-bike is broken down right now. There's something the matter with it. So I stole Wei Feng's bike. But, there's so many different things that you like and you dislike, especially as a foreigner in a foreign country like China, because, there's cultural differences. There's, one of the big things is people jumping in front of you in line, but it's not people. It's usually an old lady that jumps in front of you in line. If you try to social distance, you try to, give the person in front, you're not hanging on their ass. You give them a couple of feet. Bingo. If there's an old lady coming to that line, she's in front of you because there's room for her. And this is it's part of the culture. The older people shouldn't have to wait. But I'm looking at myself and thinking, well, I'm pretty old, could I? So I'm going to try that one of these days and see how that works for me. Just like, I don't see, they act like they don't see you there. It's one of those things. And you get it at the airport. You get it all over China. It's one of those things that it rags my tail a little bit sometimes.
Do you get any special treatment in the town there, Gweilo? Or are you just like a movie star walking around in Nanning?
Well, I went on the subway here a while back, and a young lady stood up to give me her seat. And I'm thinking, oh God, am I that old already? Like, it's like, but, and I told her, no, sit down type thing. But the idea that she would do that, it makes me feel that, and it's not because I'm a rock star or anything, it's because of the white gray hair.
But didn't you back yourself into that by calling yourself Gweilo 60? Isn't that you?
Yeah, but I was much younger back then when I did that. The Gweilo is basically a slang for white foreigner type thing. It's it's the same as like Laowei, only Laowei is Mandarin and Gweilo is Cantonese. So the Gweilo is maybe a little bit more derogatory term for a foreigner than Laowei, but it's and that goes back to the olden days in Hong Kong when when they were taken over and stuff like that. But yeah, it is. I stepped in it, and now that I'm known as Gweilo 60, there's really, and now everybody knows how old I am because this is the year I turned 60. Gweilo 60, born in 60. You know what I mean? So there's no hiding it anymore. I'll just gracefully get old.
Can you give the panel an idea? Yeah, can you give the panel an idea when your birthday is? Is that what you're going to ask, Alex?
July 11th.
I was going to ask if he was going to update it every year because next year it'll be Gweilo 61 and then 62 and then Gweilo 63.
Well, no, because I did it on the year I was born, 1960. Oh yeah, I was a 60s kid. I was around in the hippie days. Gotta love it.
That's cool, man.
Well,
okay.
It was different. It was very psychedelic at times, right into the 70s and early 80s.
Moving on to Alex Absolute. So let's start warming this up. What do you dislike or like about China?
Straight off the bat, this is the easiest one: is driving. Everybody thinks that like back in England, having a cool car is like a great thing, right? So when I got here, and what have we got now? We've got a BMW 535 and an Audi S3, and normally those would be great cars, right? But no, driving them is a pain. I usually just catch the bus because the public transport here, that's one of my likes, great public transport. But driving is like what Gweilo was saying. But yeah, it kind of varies from city to city. I find Shanghai is a lot better than here in Wenzhou. But here in Wenzhou, driving just makes me angry. People in England, if you're joining like a slip road on a motorway, right, it comes down and there's a whole bunch of traffic coming, and what everybody does, it's like an unwritten rule. People let like other people in one by one by one by one. Not here. You drive as close to the back of the car in front as possible, and you try and tailgate them. You're not getting in here. No way. So it kind of leads into these dangerous situations and I think the only time when my blood pressure is making the little wheel go round and round and round if I was at hospital is when I'm driving.
Just to interject there, guys, do we hear a little bit of distortion with Alex' mic, or is that just me?
Like he's breaking up a little bit.
Just a little bit there, Alex. So we're just not sure if you're using a VPN, but might want to check that out. I'm going to move over to NICO. And you know what? I take a lot of flack because when I first invited NICO onto the panel, someone came up with a new nickname for her. And I'm not going to say it on the air. So if you want to know what that nickname is, you're going to... No, hey, Gweilo. You're going to have to ask her in her chat forum what it is, the nickname that I called you. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So I think it's great. But it's actually because I'm married to an Eastern European, and a lot of the ends of their names are certain ways, so you guys can put two and two together. NICO, you just had a video out pretty much about this topic. If Wesley, if you could find that video while NICO starts to chat about what the video is about, that would be helpful if you could find that link I sent to you earlier. Go ahead, NICO.
Yeah, I strangely enough did this video. We released it on Monday, actually. So we recorded it the other week. Thought it would be a very good topic to talk about. We kind of called it the pros and cons, but it's pretty much our likes and, well, my likes and dislikes about living in China. So when you guys asked me to come on and talk about it, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty experienced in this topic. I've just released a video about it.
Do you mind if we go full screen on this and just show the audience a little bit about this video that you just put out?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, so we're going to have Wesley just play about 30 some seconds of it. Here we go.
If living in China for 3 years has taught me one thing, it's that everybody has an opinion on China. And if some of my YouTube comments are anything to go by, it seems that people are really extremely one way or the other. But just like every country, things just aren't as simple as that. If I think about my home country, the UK, there are obviously things that I like, the food, the people, the culture, but there are also things that I don't like the food, the people, and the culture. And even if I don't agree with everything that happens there, it still doesn't make me any less proud of where I'm from.
Well, everyone, you guys can watch that video on NICO's channel. And just wanted to say just want to say hello to the This Is China crew that is waiting for Jerry to come on to the show. Nice that you guys are sitting patient, and do not worry. You're going to get plenty of Jerry when it comes up. He's just waiting behind there. We have our first super chat of the day. Thank you very much. Kurt, can you speak about that? And then I'm going to go back to NICO.
Okay, it's so small on my thing. Could you read it, because I can't see it? It's too small on my screen.
No problem. So at Gweilo 60, that's Gweilo 60, everybody. Enjoy your daily video. Please keep it up. Buy you and Wei Feng a beer. Greetings from Calgary, Alberta. I can guarantee you that Wei Feng will get the money. Whether Kurt gets it, that's another topic.
No. I will get the money, and I promise you I'll spend it on beer. But Wei Feng doesn't drink beer, so I'll have to drink all of the beer. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it immensely.
NICO, so we're going to go back to your video there. How long did that take to produce something like that? And that was... you had help with Jack from that, is that correct?
Yes, obviously I had help with Jack, my lovely husband, my beautiful video editor, and he helps me do all my videos. So we actually filmed 2, I think, that day. I'm trying to think of what it was. We actually filmed 2 that day, so we just sat outside, we filmed that, and then we did all the B-rolls, so we got it out in about a week, but it was kind of a few days of intense editing. Something like that's a little bit easier because I just sat in our little courtyard outside and did it. But when we go around, it can take a lot longer. So we're going out to film one today, so it might take today and tomorrow to film. So
any can you tell us what you guys are filming?
Well, actually, yes, because you guys inspired me to film this one, and I'm going to film an China infrastructure one because of the last topic that we spoke about. Yeah. So this show is just linking to my videos very well.
No, that's great. So And how long do you think that it takes to produce something like that? Like, I mean, you're going to be out filming 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. What do you think?
Yeah, probably about 5 hours, maybe today. Maybe tomorrow, actually, because we'll do a few hours today and then maybe 5 hours or something tomorrow. And then Jack will edit it next weekend.
Oh, lucky Jack, huh?
Yeah.
So how
Okay.
did you
Pretty much
talk
how
your
we met.
husband into doing your editing? Because I've been working on Wei Fong for a couple of years now, and I still haven't got her to turn on the computer. Like, seriously, like, you cut them off and say, no food, I'm not cooking any supper, or your beer fund is going into dresses, or
Well,
how did you talk
thankfully, my husband already had a very big passion for making videos. And before we came to China, we made a lot of videos when we were traveling in South America. And they were more kind of just passion projects that actually even on our YouTube, they were just videos that we wanted to make because he loves photography and video making. And then when we came to China, we decided, let's work together and make a YouTube channel. And I can be the front person and he can be the back
movie
person and we can
star.
make it better.
So,
The face.
Nico, we're
I
about
think I kind of like Jack in that sense. I'm the only person who seems to like editing. Like when I have friends that have said, "Oh, I can't wait till I get big enough and I can just have an editor," and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I kind of, maybe it's a little bit, hey, look at me of me, but I like to do it all myself. I like to have full control of that. I love editing. Editing is great. I spend a lot of time learning new editing stuff, especially After Effects and 3D stuff at the moment.
Yeah, some people have the patience for it.
Yeah, I think
Well,
he finds it very therapeutic.
As you guys know, I do all my editing on my channel.
I beat out his wife. His wife does his editing for him. That's bullshit.
No, that's
Okay, you do some editing. I know you do some editing.
I'm the creative mind behind it, and I have a little bit of help. Actually, we have an interesting story here. As you know, when the borders were closing around the world, I was actually on my way to see Gweilo 60 in Nanning, China. And on my way there, well, within a few days, he phoned me up and said, "Hey, look, Alex, things are shutting down here." And I said, yeah, indeed they are. And they're also shutting down for you. So we reversed that, and Gweilo came to Thailand to meet me. And I had just got back from Chongqing, China, and was thinking I'm only going to be here a few weeks and then I'm going back to China. Well, both of us got stuck behind the border there, and Gweilo ended up staying here for a couple of months, and voila, you got a brand new friend, and that's why we came up with this show, Let's Talk China, because we had to reach out to people and still, chat with them about what's going on in the world. So when he left, we brought another guy in that got stuck behind the border problem, and his name was Michael Ponte, or Michel Ponte, however you want to pronounce it. And he's helped my wife a great deal with her editing skills. So that's how this is all rolled together. Now, Nico, I wanted to point out that you are just shy of under a couple hundred subscribers to hit the 20,000 mark, right? Can you give us that exact number of how many you need? When was the last time you checked?
I checked this morning before the show, actually, and I was on.
How many we got to go?
19,858.
Okay.
So
Oh,
about
142.
Everybody out there, get on your subscribe button. Go over to Nico's channel and hit that subscribe. Let's put her over 20,000. Come on, you guys can do it.
Come on, guys. Let's
And
do
I
it
just
this
wanted-
weekend.
I just wanted to thank all my viewers. I hit 18,000 about 5 minutes ago, so thank you very much for that support as well. So Gweilo, let's get into the nitty gritty here, and let's get right down to some things that, and how I'm gonna, move you into this one is last night. As you guys know, I'm a trader by night, and as I was watching the financial markets trade late into the evening last night, a story came up. I'm not sure if you can find it for me, Wesley. It's let me just see if I can pick it up myself. Do you see it about the U.S. wanting to block Huawei's access to the chip market? Here we go. So if we could just get rid of that little cookies warning there too. So this is what we're going into next week here with. It's a little bit of news for you viewers here. This is quite serious. It's basically to dumb down this article to give it to you in layman's terms. It's more like United States has said to Huawei, "We know you need chips to make your phones. We're going to block the Americans or other nations." They said globally, which is interesting. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but they're going to block Huawei from needing these much needed, chips for their phones, which pretty much puts Huawei on the outside. Now, here's where I'm going to go with this one here, and what we like and dislike about China. In this situation, it's quite extraordinary. I'm not sure if any other country around the world went after Apple and said to Apple, "Look, okay, we'll put your CEO in jail," or CFO, or whatever position the leader of Huawei is in right now. But she's in Canada on a U.S. arrest warrant, which is even more bizarre. But just imagine if we reverse the roles here, and you had a top-ranking, executive of one of the largest mobile companies stuck in jail in a third country on an extradition treaty that had nothing to do with that nation, and then also in one swoop move a law with an executive order to take the country out. I think the Chinese, and maybe someone can add with this to me, is that if there's one thing that I dislike about China on this one, is I think that they should be a little bit more vocal about this in regards to, right, if you're going to try to step on our largest mobile company in China, here's what you will receive in return. Kurt or Alex or NICO, I know this is an interesting way of looking at the like and dislikes about China, but I think I got an article from you, Alex, this morning that they were looking at DJI as well to put to this. So not only ZTE, Huawei, they're going for the throat on this. So maybe you can add to this, and maybe do you feel the Chinese are coming back and forth saying no, you can't do this?
I guess it's like I've not really had time to really fully look into it, but it was quite shocking to see that this morning that America has banned, due to patent issues that they claim from Evo Autel, which is it's like a drone. It's kind of like a DJI drone. It's similar, but as a drone flyer, I think it's nowhere close. I'm not sure if it's either them just trying to like chip away at DJI's hold on the market, because DJI has a massive hold. It's like, especially for drone flyers, let alone their other stuff like the action cams and the Osmo Pocket, they have a huge hold. Like if you don't buy a DJI drone, unless you're a pro level guy who's doing it for work, then it's quite surprising. And they've basically blocked the entire DJI range from being sold in America. Like everywhere else would be fine. But somebody did say, I posted this in another weekly chat group, and somebody did say that what DJI could do to get around this is open a company in America, transfer the patents, and then just start selling again.
Sounds familiar?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. So, I mean, that does have impact. And, if it's my understanding, Huawei is actually banned in the United States. Now, maybe our viewers can tell us, can they buy a Huawei mobile phone in North America? It's funny because every time I bring this phone out to people, my Canadian friends come I'll go full screen. So anytime I bring this phone out, my Canadian friends look at me like, "What is that?" And that's Huawei. And it's like this big cloud of mysteries come over me because I use a Huawei phone. And, one reason why... Yes, of course.
Yeah, they're going to spy. And look at and I got a Huawei too. I changed from my Apple to Huawei here just not too long ago, about a week and a half ago. My Apple phone, I haven't touched it since. This has got like 4 cameras. The battery never goes dead on it. It's like you can use it for 2-3 days steady, and it's
iPhone 11 the same.
Well, this is just an amazing thing. but this one was $450 Canadian, which is about $350 American. How much was your iPhone 11?
Ooh, costly.
6,000 RMB.
What was that? I didn't
I
hear
think it
you.
was 5,600 or 6,000 because there's not a big difference between an iPhone 11 and an iPhone 11 Pro. The only real difference is a telephoto lens, which is on the back. I have a 7200 down here for my Sony, so I'd much rather use that anyway. And it's an OLED screen. So actually, if you're going to buy an iPhone, just buy an iPhone 11. It's a much better deal.
Yeah, but it's still more than twice as much as this puppy here.
Huawei do make some amazing stuff, though. My wife has literally just bought a Huawei laptop, and it's the craziest thing ever. It looks kind of like a MacBook, but the crazy thing to get used to is that it has this like the fingerprint ID for unlocking it, but then you can touch the screen as well. So like it takes a little while to get used to, but like you want to close an application, just like ooh. So it's like iPad had a baby with iMac, MacBook Pro. Boom! Out comes this crazy laptop.
So for all your computer drone needs and telephone needs, just go to Alex Absolute's house, and he will help you out with anything you need. Telephoto lens, great camera. It's all available at Alex Absolute After Hours store. So no problem with that. It's fantastic.
Just come in the window at night.
So that's one thing that I don't want to use it as a word dislike, but I would expect, if you have a CEO or the CFO that's been arrested for 2 years in house arrest, and everybody says, well, okay, that's house arrest, that's not important. No, that's 2 years, probably on her own dime, sitting in another foreign country. And that is extremely disturbing from my standpoint, that certain individuals have to go through that, especially when it's on an arrest warrant in another country that's sovereign from Canada itself. Harsh, thank you very much for your super chat. And we did see a super chat come in for NICO earlier on, and we want to give a big thanks for that. So let's move on to some food here, guys. I know that everybody has food in all their videos, and I had the luxury of enjoying hot pot in Chongqing a few months back with the lovely ladies from Chongqing. I know, Gweilo, there's not one single food that you dislike, so I'm not going to you first on this one. I'm gonna go to because you like everything. Okay, NICO, what is some food that you're thinking about trying and have tried and loved?
Okay, so I'm a big foodie. I love a lot of food. So if you watch, excuse me, if you watch any of my videos, they've always got food in them because I love food, and I've tried quite a lot of different foods here. And I love a lot of different foods here.
Right.
Some of my favorite foods to eat, let me think. I really like hot pot, but we don't go for it that often. So I get malatang quite a lot, where you kind of pick it yourself and then they make this soup. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy cold noodles. I get them nearly every day for my lunch in the supermarket, and they make the cold noodles with the peanut sauce, and it's so good. Love the jiaozi, baozi, pretty much any noodles.
So
all over China, I love.
So if Jack came to you and said, NICO, I want to take you out anywhere in town for a fantastic dinner, what's the first place that comes to your mind? Let's say tonight. And Jack, this one's for you.
Well, normally at the weekend we do go for Western food in Beijing because there's lots of Western food here. But Chinese food, we actually really like going to Xinjiang restaurants. There's lots of Xinjiang restaurants around where we live. And I really like that kind of northern China style. So kind of Inner Mongolia, it's really hearty, and there's quite a lot of barbecue and kind of different flavors, because I know I'm going to divide a lot of people here, but I'm very ashamed to say I really don't like Szechuan pepper. Sorry, guys. I know, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I really just don't like. I'm sorry. I can't get the taste. It's not for me. I like spicy things to a degree, but I just can't get that Szechuan pepper taste. It's just.
And NICO, I thought we were friends.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I know.
I wonder. I wonder if Zhao is okay behind in the backstage there, because that's going right after the Chongqing crowd in in Chongqing for the hot pots.
I think she just changed channels.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
I want to thank for the super chat here. This has come from a very lovely lady that has been supporting my channel here. The super chat says, indeed, Chinese people need to stand up for themselves, and China needs to do a better marketing for its products like Japan did. That's pretty accurate, because, you know, that's exactly what I'm feeling. Like, I get this sense of, we had the chance a couple weeks ago to be involved with a media discussion, and I was told from a reliable source that it was China's interest to not speak negative about Western media out of respect. And I heard that, and I said, "Can you say that to me one more time, please?" And they said, "Yes, we're not really interested in, going on the negative." And I thought that was pretty professional and pretty cool about them. And they said, we just let, we've been around for 5,000 years. We let things play out the way they play out. So interesting strategy book there. Just wanted to say thank you to Will for another super chat on my channel. Thank you very much. And Harsh, again, thank you. 7 a.m. here. Thanks for making me hungry. That's probably Nico's fault for doing that. I mean, as China is such a large country geographically and stuff like that, I mean, Alex, I'm going to go to you, and then, of course, I got to end off with the king of all foodies, which is Gweilo 60. But Alex, I mean, what would the family do if you said, okay, everybody get into the car, let's go out for food? Where are we going tonight with you, Alex? Where are we going to eat tonight?
For me, it's kind of a little bit hard, because I can't always go out somewhere that is I love spicy food. I love everything that is spicy. I haven't been to Chongqing, but I've been to Chengdu, and I love all the kind of spicy hot pots and the chan. But I have 2 children, so we can't go somewhere where it's only spicy food, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I've kind of turned off the screen for some reason. But yeah, we go to kind of a variety of different places. Sometimes it'll be like, there's a few good Italian pizza places here with genuine Italians. There's a Spanish restaurant. I kind of stick usually in the kind of realm of Chinese food, because Wenzhou, although it has some great international food, just doesn't come close quite to Shanghai. If I want to really go to for some really good international food, I'll wait till I go to Shanghai, because they have stuff like Pistoleros, which is a great Mexican restaurant. The only difference being, though, that if you go to Shanghai and eat, you can be spending 1,000, 2,000 RMB easy. Whereas here in Wenzhou, even when you get the really high level food, it's a lot more affordable. But yeah, kind of.
Alex, we're still got you a bit garbled. I don't know if you're still behind the VPN there, but we're gonna move over to Kurt and see if you can maybe fix that with Wesley, and we can come back to that. Gweilo 60, hey man,
Hey,
I mean, what's the list here of the food that you love?
Don't even get me started. I'd like to say thanks to Edoy for the super chat.
Yep.
And get started here. I go out to the Brazilian barbecues. I go out to the hot pots. I go out to the Korean barbecues. Everybody's seen, we hit Guangxi traditional restaurants. We hit a lot of restaurants. My wife is definitely spoiled because when we go out for restaurants, she doesn't have to cook, do dishes. Actually, I do dishes sometimes. No, that's a lie. But the foods that I really, really enjoy are the traditional home cooked farm foods, like a koro. If anybody's ever had koro, what it is it's the pig belly. So it's really, really fat, and they take this pig belly and they deep fry it to begin with, and they boil it first to get, I don't know, they boil it for a little while, then they deep fry it to get it all crispy on the outside, then they slice it up and put sliced taro root in it, and then they steam it. And it's like, for the first 4 or 5 years, I'd look and I'd watch my farmer friends eat these really fatty pork. It's like, oh yeah, it's like So but then, one night I was into the baijiu, and I thought, wow, then I'll try it. But it's done with a 5-star spice and taro roots. When they steam it, that's how they finish it off. And seriously, now that's my favorite food in all of China. And I always talk about barbecue duck heads. We were eating a barbecue duck here about a year ago, and again, I was. I know it's hard to believe. I was drinking once again, and I looked. I'm eating. And I looked down, and I just finished off a barbecue duck's head, and I thought to myself, "No, that was pretty good." So now I eat barbecue duck. Like I'll eat just about anything, or I'll try just about anything. We were in Bobai, and it was a funeral that we were in Bobai for. It's like a farmer area of southern Guangxi province, and. Alugo, he's a cousin that when he was a little kid. Alugo means one who cries easy in their local language, and it just stuck. So he's Alugo forever. He used to cry. He used to be a crybaby when he was a kid. He comes walking out of the house with a pig's head on a platter, and I'm thinking, no, it's got to be an offering to the gods or something. No, that was dinner. So they plop it in the middle, and everybody starts cutting off the nose and the ear and the cheek and popping out the eyeball. You bet, and stuff like this. So and I was right in there with the rest of them. So the idea that there's such a variety of weird foods here in China, and with a Western mindset, you think, oh, that can't be good, and then you taste it, and it turns out it's really good, and it's one of those things. So. Although I like the restaurant foods, I like the home cooked farm foods better because it's tradition, man. It's so good.
I found as well that the vegetables here are like the veggie dishes, because I mean I'm not vegetarian and most of them are cooked with meat fat, but the
we may have lost NICO there for a second. We'll come back to NICO, guys. So basically, if we could just remove I'm going to bring somebody in, guys, to keep his group of Legion of fans warm. This is Jerry from This Is China. How you doing back there? You're being very patient. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring you on probably in about, what do we got, about 20 minutes. Kurt will bring him into the show. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things I want to talk about, one of the things that I really don't like in China is the visa requirements. Oh, and especially this day and age when you come into China, you got 90, 120 days on your visa. If you're on a visa, then you got to leave the country and come back in. Now that if you leave the country anywhere you go, you got like 14 days quarantine. Then you come back into Guangxi province, you've got 14 days quarantine and another 14 days home quarantine. So the idea that they have these restrictions is something that's really twisting our tail to the point that we're going to give up our visa and go for resident permit here next month, just for the fact that we don't have to leave the country every 4 months. And then we can stay for 2, 3, 4 years at one shot. But those visa requirements are a pain in the butt.
I'm just going to move over to Jerry here from This Is China. Jerry, thanks for joining us. We've got you backstage there because we're going to be finishing with the panel on the the Let's Talk China stuff, but more focused on. Well, we've got some special things to chat with you later about that we're going to save. So we're going to keep you warm back there. Just a big hello to Jerry's channel. He's here. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere, and we are going to bring him back onto the show in a little bit. We've got all the sound checks and mics ready to rock. He's worked hard to do that for us. So, guys, see you soon. So, Kurt, I mean, I've got to add to that, with the visa requirements, but let me tell you, I think a lot of countries have gone that way. It's not just a China thing where things have got difficult. And I'll give you an example. I've been, originally lived in Monte Carlo for, just under 20 years. And then I moved over to Asia. And while I was coming over to Asia, one of the countries that I chose to start my journey in Asia was Thailand. And what Thailand has done over the last few years has really, really changed the visa market. So I'll give you an example, just in which is a close country near China, is that you used to be able to come here on a tourist visa, double, triple entry, no problem. Now you arrive 30 days max. You got to leave the country. Do that more than twice, you're not coming in. Then they make it so. Here's how it works. Just in Thailand, for an example, if you're under 50, or put it this way, if you're over 50, you can get a retirement visa. If you're under 50, you have to study or have a work visa. If you're here longer than 30 days, they're kind of like, "What are you doing here?" So it's not just a China thing. But what I did like about China's visa thing is that, the government granted me a 10-year visa to China. Now that, to me, really, when you have your passports and they have a 10-year expiry on them, I mean, getting one visa in there is very, very, very convenient. I understand the requirements of bouncing in to reset them, but that's one thing I was very happy about, that Canada, I think it's Canada, United States, and another country that has that bilateral visa agreement. So I was happy about that. Go
ahead.
The one thing that I don't want to. I keep using that word dislike. Well, okay, what the hell? Let's use the word dislike. The one thing I dislike is I can't get my Western friends on WeChat. What's the deal with that? I can't get anybody hooked up to WeChat.
Yeah, that's a problem, especially if you're setting up banking and stuff like that on your WeChat. You actually have to have a card or a bank account here in China to do your finances on WeChat, which is sort of a pain in the butt. Another thing that drives me nuts is trying to buy shoes over here. You know what I mean? Like they're always this much too small. Like it drives me nuts. Like my toes hurt all the time. I just cut the ends off.
I think the WeChat thing might be quite new though, because my parents are on WeChat and I speak to like my family on WeChat because they have it when we first moved here.
They just changed the rules.
Yeah, I think they just changed the rules.
Yeah. I got my WeChat. Luckily, when I was in Chongqing, we got that set up, and I just want to say a big thank you to Xiao, who a couple of days ago is now assisting me on getting my let's call it social network set up in China. So I guess for all our Chinese viewers, and I will be on your social network pretty soon here. Just wanted to say thank you again to everybody that's joined this. This is a QR code for, funny enough, WeChat. And if you do make a donation today on that, can you at least message us in the comment box? If you have a question, because we'd love to answer it. As we know that some people that are in China and other nations that want to contribute through WeChat Pay. This is a way to do it, and we would like to bring highlight your questions onto the show. Arthur Larson, thank you very much. We do have a WeChat group, but it's a little bit curt.
What's that?
WeChat group.
I think, hang on. He's saying, do we have a public WeChat group? Which we don't actually. We have one for the show, but it's not for everybody to be involved in. I guess that could be that's been suggested in the past, right? That we should have a public one. And also, I just wanted to quickly get there was a super chat from Walden the Supermodel, and we didn't answer it. It was something along the lines: have you guys ever seen? Let me just find it here. Have you guys ever met Chinese Western food? And the answer to that is yes, because when I first came to China, I expected the food to be like when I went out to Chinese restaurants in England, and it simply isn't. It's nothing like that. The Chinese food in England at the Chinese restaurants, I think, is very Cantonese style. It's very also adapted to Western taste palettes, so it's quite different. But yes, I have.
Can I tell you guys one thing that I like and dislike? Well, I used to dislike it, but now I miss it, and I actually like it. It's when you're arriving on the airports in China, and you're getting your bags, and everybody is shouting, and they're shouting at you, asking, hey, in of course in well, just everybody's screaming at the airport instead of walking over. I'll give you an example. It's in one of my videos where you could hear everybody yelling, and at first I was like, why is everybody screaming at the airport? And they're screaming in Mandarin, and they're yelling, basically I think it was, hey, look out for the black bag, that's my bag, and somebody's screaming back and forth. And I said to my wife, why don't they go over there? And then I thought, what? Why should they go over there? If you can save yourself 30 meters and somebody can hear you, go for it. So I think I actually miss that kind of excitement of people, especially in this time of, quarantine and social distancing and stuff. Oh man, the vibe of China it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
It's not just the bad things, but there's so many good things about China too, like the easy public transportation. You can get anywhere, anytime for way less than anything in anywhere else in the world. It's like I take a subway across town, 3 RMB, guys, 3 RMB across a 7 million person town. That's like 60 cents, 55 cents. The food is a great thing. The weather is good and bad here. It's spring and fall, beautiful, 25, 27 degrees. Wintertime never gets too cold unless you're up north, and then it would be like Canada, but that's not very nice. But summertime here, it's a little hard, so it can be good or bad. But you see, there's lots of really good things about the Chinese existence. The cost of living here. My condo, I pay 600 RMB a year for condo fees, so about $10 Canadian a month. I pay more. I pay 1,500 RMB for 1 month on my condo on Vancouver Island.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
What? This is probably on behalf of myself and NICO, because us being Brits, we don't understand what's the difference between a condo and an apartment. All these terms are flying around.
Okay.
It's basically the same thing. We just use condo instead of apartment. It's here in China they call them apartments. In Canada, if you're renting and it's apartment. If you own it, it's a condo.
Oh, and to make it's got wings.
And to make matters even more confusing, if you're married to an Eastern European, it's they call them a flat or a unit.
Yeah, we call them units in Canada too.
Flat is also English. We use that in England as well.
Another thing that I wanted to bring up, about this like and dislike. I mean, China is quite interesting. And I have a guy from Italy staying with me. He's an outstanding, very, very nice guy. A lot of the panel, a lot of the people in my chat know him. Yes, Michele Ponte, and Ken in my chat group here knows him quite well. Last night, somebody asked him a question. And they said, and he was saying, I can't wait. Once the borders open, I'm going to go with Alex to China. He's so excited, guys, about coming to China. And he's trusting my word, right? And I've been heavily promoting China, as you know, because I'll be back there very soon and for a long time when I go back this time. At least half of a year I'm going to be spending there. And, each night we sit down and we're editing our stuff. Well, my wife is editing and he's editing. Well, we're getting things together. So I decided to drop a little video in there, 1 or 2 minute video of some of the amazing cities in China. And I'm going to play this video, guys, for you in a minute. And I've got him totally ramped up to come to China. And he says, I want to go everywhere in China. And I said, that's cool. I know NICO. I know Alex Absolute, Gweilo 60. You can go see them all. And Jerry, this is China. And Zhao in Chongqing. And someone said to him last night, I'm worried to go to China. I'm worried. Do you think that there's anything, if we're going to be talking about the likes and dislikes, you think there's anything an Italian has to worry about, Italian content creator, anything he's got to worry about to go to China?
No.
He might find the pizza isn't quite up to his standards.
Yeah, China's got to be the safe. Yeah, China's got to be the safest place in the world. Like seriously, I've been pretty well everywhere in the world at one time, one point in my life, and I can honestly say China is the safest place I've ever been as far as crime, violent
same.
crime. There may be a little bit more petty crime here that if you put it down and you turn around and you turn back, it's gone. It's one of those things. But as far as violence goes, no, this is the safest place on the planet.
I mean,
I have a weird one.
Yes.
Shoot. One of my weird dislikes is actually to do with the new foreigners which are here. Like when I first came here, all the foreign scene here was fantastic. Everybody was like really chilled, and everybody kind of took it in their stride and was like, like everybody's kind of bowled over at first, and you kind of get used to it. But in recent years, there's been these, I don't know what they call them. I always used to think they were millennials, but it turns out I'm a millennial, which is awful. I think they're called Zoomers. I think they're called Zoomers. But,
Zoomers?
Is it the ones that are like 20, 25-ish now? Are they Zoomers?
Can anyone...
Generation turds.
Oh,
yeah, the Generation Z or something.
Oh, Generation Z, yeah, because they come over and you get all these people, and we've got like a couple of Wenzhou group chats, and there's people and they're like, oh my god, I feel so like unsafe. This Chinese guy followed me down the street the other day, and it's like, stop coming here and getting all dramatical about stuff. It's just because you're a foreigner in a city where there's hardly any other Chinese people. It's like as if an alien landed. People would be like, oh god, wow. And kind of people bring their kind of the ideas from back home in England or back home in America, and then apply them to China in this kind of like really entitled, just kind of way. And
phone home and
really
ask mom,
me.
hey mom, I'm being followed. Right?
Yeah.
You see it. You see it on a lot of YouTube channels too. The same type of attitude, the entitlement, they know more about things than anybody else, but they've been here for 2 or 3 months, and they still haven't gotten it, I guess is what it is. After you've been here, like Alex, how many years have you been here? 7, 8 years, Alex?
7, yeah.
Yeah, I've been in and out of China for 17 years, but then I get this on the YouTube channel. I guess and you guys are gonna see a video coming out, I think on Tuesday, where I address this particular problem on YouTube, where you become a target for these, and I think it's their way of getting trying to get ahead in their YouTube channel. And I noticed Alex Absolute and Alex from Reporterfy Media have become targets of some of these, and I call it how I see it. They're turds. It's one of the things that everybody knows. I call these people turds. But you see it more and more, and I agree with you, Alex. It's one of those things that it makes us all look bad.
Somebody was asking me about this, this topic, and they were kind of saying, you talk positive about China, and just because I talk positive about certain things doesn't mean I'm anti, this and that. It's kind of like, give you an example. If you've left your own country, like I have left Canada, and there's some things I don't like about Canada. Now, would I be anti-Canada if I said I didn't like, not being able to listen to live music on a patio on a Friday night in a city having a beer? Because that would be considered, entertainment, which there's certain laws in the country that, in Canada, yes, that don't allow it. So would I be, anti this?
I can see why you left.
So, I mean, we have all these things in our country that maybe we like and dislike, but that doesn't mean that we're anti this or anti that, or the government is really, really bad, and we can in any nation around the world. I'm almost certain we could have a laundry list of all the likes and dislikes, but that doesn't mean certain people are anti. The Book of Eli, thank you for your super chat. The two mics might have a different opinion of safety of being in China. What do you say, Gweilo 60 as a Canadian? We're gonna get to that, but guys, I got a little treat. I'm not sure. Maybe it could be us, and we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of that super chat in a minute. But I want to play a quick video here. We'll play about a minute of it, and I just want you guys to sit back and look at the awesome things that I like about China. Wesley, if you could roll this. This is fantastic. Do we have sound on that, Wesley? We'll come back, guys, in a sec. We're just going to queue up the sound, and we'll come back to that in 1 second. But I want you guys to just sit back, and if some of the people that are part of this program haven't seen China from the sky before, this is what you guys have to just sit back and have a look at these model cities. Okay, we'll fire away, Wesley. Well, there we go. Would have loved to see a little bit of more Chongqing there, but that's okay.
So I've got a question. Where does Prince Albert, Saskatchewan fall in this scenario?
I don't know. Hey, so what we're going to do, guys, is now we're going to be doing a switch here, and Alex Absolute is going to be vacating the premises and making room for Jerry from This Is China. Alex, are we going to, I think we are going to continue to, let's see, how many you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to continue to stream to your channel. Is that okay with you?
That is perfectly fine with me. Yes, indeed.
So Alex is going to leave us, but to Alex's audience, you guys stick around because we got This Is China with Jerry and Xiao coming up as well. Go fire away, Alex.
I think it's 380 subscribers from 4K. Not as big as any of you guys, but there's like 900,000 people watching right now. If you could all just go and click that button, much appreciated. That would be great. Also, if you want to tell me the passwords to your bank accounts, give me your car keys, any of that cool stuff.
And Alex, before you go, how late is the electronics store open in your house and the Valley parking available at your not condo, but we'll call it flat?
The Valley, the parking here would make you tear your hair out. It's awful. I'm so glad I bought a parking space as well as the house because it saves so much hassle. But anytime you can actually gain entry to the complex, and it is very secure. They've got electric fences and all sorts of stuff. But you can get into the bathroom window and the kitchen window or the toilet window that's on the same side as the balcony because my in-laws and my wife love to leave that open all the time. You just need a screwdriver to open up a mesh gate, I guess.
Well, hey, good to know. So thank you very much, Alex. We're going to let you get on with your day. What a pleasure to hear you, and fantastic. We're going to continue to stream to your channel, and now we are bringing on a guy that I've been very excited to bring on. I think he's got one of the best voices of live stream in YouTube land. Can we just call him Jerry from This Is China, guys? Are you good with that?
From This Is China.
Hey, hello, everybody. Hey, listen, before I start, I just want to make it clear. This channel called This Is China is known for technical issues. So bear with me. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Hello, good morning, Gweilo 60. Good morning, Reporterfy Media, NICO, this side of me, and all you beautiful people watching this live stream. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for having me around your table.
Hi, Jerry.
Pleasure. So, Jerry, you've never actually met us in person, but first impressions?
Amazing people. Hey, listen, I wanna make it. I wanna make a joke on myself. This is the truth that I'm telling the people right now. Okay, so there was this show. I'm following the streams like every goddamn Saturday because these boys are doing. I believe this is the best stream in China, right? Anyway. So what I did was I sent one of these WeChat QR code. Wesley, maybe you can pull that QR code up for people to shoot them that money into that QR code. But I sent a message there and I was like, hey guys, can I please get onto the show? And I want to say sorry for that, Gweilo, sorry for that, Alex. But the guys gave me a chance and I'm here hanging out with you guys today.
Cool. No, you'll fit right in with us. I think I've watched some of your stuff, and you do pretty good stuff, Jerry. It's one of those things that we're all just trying to make it in this weird world.
Right. Well, thank you for that, Gweilo. Thank you.
Another thing that I want to add to that is that I spoke with you and I kind of made you that promise, and you and I have been talking for a while now that I was trying to get you on the show. I mean, when we started broadcasting the show probably about 3 months ago, just until about 2 weeks ago, our emails and our, I guess it would be, through other means, started to get flooded with people that wanted to come on this show. And even some of the original guys that were on the show are coming back. I had an interesting conversation with Lee Barrett yesterday. He does a show on the weekend as well. And he said, yeah, let's go. Let's get this going on and let's all work together on this, which is good news to hear because, this community works, and I'm going to call it a community. This community works together. We're a pretty tight-knit group. And, what's interesting is that now that this show is starting to get traction, and it's been written up in a couple of news articles throughout China and gathering interest, I would say that, I don't know about you, Kurt, but the list is building and we might have a sizable queue for people to get on the show. And that's why, if you guys are wondering today why Alex and Jerry from This Is China was brought in kind of like on a half show, is because it's hard for us to, to kind of, get everybody on in one show quickly. And that's what we're trying to accommodate. But we do have quite a bit of a long queue to get on this program now. So if you guys don't mind, just be patient. One of these days we'll get mostly everybody. And I think I'm going to pass this over to you, Gweilo. We may have quite an extraordinary show happen without giving up too many names, but in about a month and a half from now, it could be very, very interesting on this panel. Do you want to handle that, or do you want to just keep it?
I'm brutally honest with everybody. I talked with Winston here not too long ago, and they actually contacted us, and they want to come on the show. So when people say we've got differing opinions, and so we don't allow those differing opinions on the show, well, yeah, we do allow the differing opinions on the show. And when Winston and Matt from Lao 86 show up on the show, sure, we'll have different opinions. They're basically the exact opposite of me, in understanding China. But because these people are basically professionals at what they do, we allow them on the show just because we know that it's not going to be a shit show. Other people have made comments and stuff and saying, "Oh, if we got on that show, we would roast them," because obviously this is one of these generation stupids that Alex was talking about before. Or was it turd? Yeah.
Boomers.
But you see, the thing is that no, I'm a boomer. but the thing is that they don't get on the show because they're just there to try to promote their hate and their lack of understanding. So these are the type of people that don't get on the show. When you're talking about those people, no. And another thing for everybody out there watching that maybe want to come on the Let's Talk Live show here, Let's Talk China. If you ever do a hit piece on anybody that's in our pool and on our panel, you just won't be on the show, period. So keep that in mind when you're doing these little I want to gain subscribers on the coattails of anybody on our show. If you do that, bang, you're gone, and that's a lifelong ban. So
I mean, Kurt, I mean, these are pretty big names that want to get on our show, and they're known throughout, the vlog sphere, and I think it's kind of, I mean, that would be quite an interesting panel to have. I know that we've had some expressed interest from Matt. He will be back on to the show as well when that all transpires. So that'll be something to look forward to. Yeah, and Daniel as well. So I mean, that's going to be quite an electrifying show. We're still working out all the details on that. I know a lot of you guys out there want it to be a battle royale. We hope that it doesn't get to that because everybody is quite solid on what they say and quite positive. So I mean, that should debunk anybody that thinks that we don't want other opinions on the show. That having those guys would be very interesting. Okay, so let's move on. Jerry.
Yes,
Before
sir.
you get what you say that they have all they're very famous and whatever. Everybody on the show is sort of famous in their own way. Like everybody knows who NICO is. Everybody knows who Blondie in China is. Everybody knows, Barrett and Daniel Dumbrill and Alex from Reporterfy and Alex Absolute and all of these people have following. And so some people have been around longer. You've got to understand, like Winston's been probably around 13 or so years or even longer doing this. So as you do that, you become more well known and have more subscribers. So everybody on our panel is famous in their own way.
Guys, I have something I need to just play here for the show and for all the Blondie and China people that are in some of our comment boxes. She wanted to put this quick message out, so if you could allow me that. I'm not sure if that's come up on the screen. Yes, there she is. There's Amy. And let's just see what Amy's got to say, okay? So let's have a look here.
Hey guys, it's Amy here from Blondie in China. Sorry I couldn't join the live stream with you guys today because it's actually my birthday today and I've got some fun plans with my family during the day. But tonight, after my family has all gone to sleep, I will be doing a live stream of my own and inviting another China YouTuber whose birthday it also is today. So join myself and Miriam in China tonight, 8 p.m. China time, where we're going to go live and just chat and celebrate our birthdays together. Hope to see you there. Bye.
So there you go. We'll put Blondie's link in there, and always happy to promote some of our recent guests and again upcoming guests. She will obviously be back on the show because we love having her here. Jerry,
Yes,
you're
sir.
part of the program now. Tell us,
Okay.
NICO has just expressed to us everything that she loves food in China. Is there some quirks that maybe you don't like or dislike or love or not so much love in China? And where are you? And tell us a little bit about your channel because you're new to the panel.
Right, yeah, okay. So first of all, as I said, guys, welcome to This is China channel. I'm known for technical issues, but I'm working on them. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a South African guy that moved to China back in 2016, I guess, so 2015. And yeah, I married a Chinese wife, well, my Chinese wife here in China, and I've got 2 kids. Well, actually 1 daughter and a new baby coming up. I started my YouTube channel back then, and I'm taking it serious basically now. So, yeah, this is who I am, still living in China, love this place, and continue going strong in China. Now, the question was, I think the first, you said I must first hit off with something that's a little bit weird for me or what I don't like, right?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes,
All right,
yes,
so here it goes. And I'm not just saying this, it was really hard for me to get some stuff that I really, really don't like. Now, these stuff are, you know, small nitty-gritty stuff that you can get along with, but I just listed it here for you guys to listen me out here. So the first one I'm going to shoot off is called, well, I call it the IE stare-off. Now, for people that don't know what an IE is an older Chinese woman in China, right? And as a foreigner, as you walk down the street, especially if you're a vlogger with your camera like in your face, you know, you get some of these IEs that stare at you, and it becomes like a real stare of war. Like you look at her, she looks at you. It's like a whole crazy mess going on in the streets. And then in the end, both of you guys just hello, hello, and then yeah, accept each other and go on. So that's something that's kind of itchy to me, you know, the stare-offs towards foreigners. But that's something you get used to. And your second question was what I like, right? So yes, there's so much that I like. I'm going to start with something real simple. So so the real simple one I like over here. Let's throw this in here. I think this is cool. And you did a video about it. So by the way, or your wife did one. Alex from Reporterfy Media, go check it out. Where she goes shopping. So I agree with that video, and I think shopping in China is insane. People have no clue how cool it is actually. And here's the thing. You can get anything in China, literally anything, right? And you guys have said it a little bit earlier, but the cool thing for me is I'm one of those guys that buys the fakes sometime, you know? So if you have a bad month, you can go out and go get yourself a fake pair of shoes till you have, you know, the new Nikes or whatever you like. And, you know, when you have money again, you go get yourself authentic. So China just offers you anything. So yeah, that's my first dislike and my first like.
What I mean, so Jerry, I mean, what would your budget be if you went out? Let's say today you're going out and you want to spend some money. What would that be? How much would you go out and spend today, just to feel that were gratified and satisfied out shopping in China?
Well,
give me an idea, ballpark.
Okay, yeah, roughly. Hey, listen, I like to buy. I like to come back with bags. I'm one of those guys that never had this when I was a young kid, right? So when I came to China, this country just offered me this, so I like bags. So here's the thing. If I go out into markets, especially these counterfeit markets and stuff like that, I will say between 500 to 1,000 RMB will get you bags and bags of stuff that you can bring back, and it satisfies you. Plus you get a meal, a super big meal, and some drink, a beer or something on the way back.
What about like, now you mentioned fakes and stuff like that. I mean, you know, one thing I gotta say is some of the quality of the goods actually is pretty, and I'm not even talking fakes. My wife buys me these shirts. A lot of people comment on my video about these polo shirts. Like, where'd you get that polo shirt, man? It's awesome. I gotta tell you, I've bought $200 polo shirts, and then I bought a $20 shirt in China at the market, and that shirt lasts 100 times more in a laundry cycle than my $200 shirt. So
exactly.
Who's getting you know, yeah, who's getting? I don't want to use the word screwed, but I mean, you know,
I'm not going to take off my shoe right now, but I promise you, I've got some Nikes on now, and I bought these 3 years ago in a counterfeit market, and these puppies are working perfectly fine. I'm still wearing them, and it cost me like, how much was it? I think it was 150 RMB, and I still have them on my feet. So anyway, ladies, don't judge me.
Somebody wants you to take off the shoe. We want to see the shoes.
I don't think I've bought anything real.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, there's a Nike shirt. Gweilo 60's got a Nike shirt, and this one.
No, but that's not a Nike shirt.
This is
that's a NICO shirt, but they've spelt it wrong.
This is 35
Even this
RMB.
is.
Oh, and when I got you on the thing here, Dream, thanks for the super chat, and AC, thanks for the super chat.
I also want to say thank you to Silverlight for the super chat. Thank you. He or she, I'm not sure, said to us that we should have and I'm going to do this. We should have a poll on maybe our community channels on who we think should come on the show. Like, ask who do you think the top, maybe a list of 10. Maybe we take the top 3 or 4 who we should try to get on the show. I know we've reached out to Nathan Rich once or twice here to get him on the show. He's a different guy to get on the show. He's amazing when he does these timelines, and boy, oh boy, does he go into detail. Pretty cool. So we will do that, Silver. Yeah, we will do that, Silverlight. We'll put up a kind of like a poll and see, who we should have, or who the viewers think that we should have on the show. I think it's a great idea. So we're gonna do that as well. Nico, what's your experience with the shopping in China? There, the love and the hate. Or no, don't use the word hate. The love and the like and the dislike. The like and the dislike of shopping.
I completely agree. I love fake market shopping, and I don't think I own a pair of trainers that are real. I personally, I guess I've always been quite frugal because I've always been saving to travel, and since I came to China is the only time that I've really had a disposable income. But I still think, why would I spend $100 on a pair of trainers when I can get them for $15? It doesn't make sense to me. I can get loads of pairs of trainers. I'm more of a quantity over quality girl. So I love it. And one of the good things here is obviously internet shopping. I know that obviously Taobao is really popular, and there's an English version called Baobaos, which, to be honest, I use more because I can't speak Chinese yet. But I think they're just amazing. And you can order things. And then even when the quarantine was on, we ordered like a dog crate. I know this isn't shopping because we got a dog. And it came like the next day. It's so fast here. It's amazing. So yeah, I really like that.
You mentioned Taobao. Actually, so for a lot of the people that aren't aware, Taobao is, basically... well, everybody uses it. I think most people use it in China. It's pretty much Amazon on steroids, and for quite a bit reduced price. But for some of the Western audience, Taobao is owned, I believe, by the Ali Group, and Jack Ma, and AliExpress does the. They have a very interesting, almost, I guess we'll call it the Western type of Taobao if you haven't used it. And we use it in many other countries. But AliExpress is definitely one to use. Guys, while we're on the shopping topic, I'm going to just plug you a little video that I did yesterday. Well, it wasn't me. It was my lovely wife. And thank you, Jerry, for queuing that up. So I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen there. That's her. Very lovely lady. Not a bad bone in her body at all. And here we go.
To look for something made in China. Well, I don't know. Something is happening here. I don't quite know what.
Oh, I love seeing those boxes. What are inside those boxes? Oh, I could spend hours on the streets.
Store after store.
Oh, shoes.
Of running shoes. Every single store filled with nearly identical. And that's just the ground level. Yep, more running shoes. This looks like a toys store. So all of these boxes could be filled with toys. Right? Shoes, toys. It's an interesting mix of shoes and toys.
So you guys can watch the rest of that video on my site. And hey, that whole video is done by my wife. I'm not even in there. So there you go. Tim K, thank you very much for your contribution. Ken, yes. Ken is actually the super commenter, subscriber, probably the best person you can have on your channel. And I'm probably certain that most of you guys will see him in your comment box eventually. He does the most amazing comments. So back, Nico and Jerry here. The shopping, so I mean, you see, in this video that I just put out, my wife managed to go out and buy a New Year's dress for under 100 RMB. In fact, she only had 92 RMB in her wallet, and she managed to find a dress outfit for New Year's. I mean, is there a lot of, like, when you go out and you shop, and, do you get this, like, yes, I feel good when you get home, not buyer's remorse that you spent a fortune?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah.
Nico, how about yourself?
I do if we've gone to like a trainer market. To be honest, I normally kind of hold trainers and sports stuff because Chinese clothes don't always fit me because the women are a lot more petite here than I am. So for normal clothes, I do have to usually shop in Western stores, which aren't as cheap. But sports things, yeah, I feel good. I'm like, I got 5 pairs of trainers for like 500 RMB. This is amazing. I think it's great.
I mean, okay, so if we're not talking clothes now, how about, electronics and stuff? I mean, I guess some things that I'm more, I don't want to say concerned about, but it's that, if we buy something from China and it's, a name, like, let's say for repairs, I'll give you an idea. We bought a refrigerator when I was living in the south of France, and it was actually a Samsung, which is Korean, but a part broke on it. And the repair guy came around, and the refrigerator was only a year old, and he says, got to get a new one. And I said, what are you talking about? He says,
No.
you got to get a new one. And I said, well, he goes, well, by the time we can't send a refrigerator back to, Korea to get repaired. And the parts, we don't have the parts, and nobody in Europe can fix this refrigerator. Now, where I'm going with this point is Gweilo got some new air conditioners in his house recently, and before that, I remember watching one of his videos of him getting, I think his hot water heater repaired at his house, and I was quite surprised. So in China, you can get this stuff fixed, but outside of China, it's sometimes it's very difficult. So, I mean, Kurt, you tell us about that experience.
It's easy to get stuff fixed. All you got to do is you just phone up a repair guy. He comes over for a couple RMB. He comes in, he fixes it. That was the first time I actually videoed myself in the shower. No, seriously, I did. It was demonetized immediately. No, I'm kidding. But
man.
The thing is, we get everything fixed. We never go out. If something breaks down, we never go out and buy it. You just phone the repair guy, and the warranty's here. If it's still on warranty, they'll send the guy out, no charge. They'll fix it up, and away it goes, and that's just the way it is. But with the hot water heater, it was an old one. I think it was 20 or 30 RMB. And the guy came out, fixed it, changed a little diode or whatever in it, and it was up and running in an hour. And that's common here. They don't throw things away. They're more responsible, I guess, when it comes to stuff like that. It's one of those things. One of the other things I'd like to talk about is my favorite out of everything in China is to be able to do these YouTube videos, run around on my e-bike, do these YouTube videos, and reach such a wide audience. And I think everybody here has sort of felt the bug of doing the YouTube videos in China for the Western world, telling them sort of about our world. If we were sitting in a place like Canada or the United States or Britain, it just wouldn't have the same impact as it does in China, because there are so few foreigners that really understand China, that live in China. And that's my biggest about living in China, is the world that I have created for myself and my wife in this YouTube world of China.
To add to that, we've gone to two extremes here, one from cheap goods to now let's talk really quality items that have come out of China. I got to tell you, the DJI products are absolutely outstanding. The Huawei products are, world-class products. A lot of these things that, it's easy for a lot of people to fall back on the, hey, it's made in China. It's not, that is, that's a comment that somebody would say maybe 30 years ago about China. We have pretty extraordinary stuff that's coming out of the country, and I'm not sure if the viewers are aware that China does now about 75% of all worldwide patents. So that has really changed the whole dynamics of that country. I just want to say a shout out to one of the guests that was previously on This Is China show, called Samantha Kim Dean. Thank you for joining my channel and coming. Big shout out to you. Fantastic page. You got amazing footage on your channel. So hello to you. And if you're just joining, we were talking earlier about getting people on the show. I don't know, last time I checked, there was about 30. So, I mean, the queue is quite long, that's the way it goes. So it's going to take some time to get people on there. I know some people are wanting Nathan Rich to come on the channel, so you just email Nathan and tell him to get on here. So if we're going to go through, that's the shopping and that's the electronic parts of the show. Let's talk about, information. Where do you guys get your information sources from when you're looking for news? Is there some news that you like inside China or not? Or is there a like or dislike with the amount of news that you can get?
Well,
anybody want to take that? Yeah, fire away, Jerry.
All right, so I get all my news 100% from my Chinese wife, and she's on the news 24/7 here in China, reading through CGTN, goes through to China Daily. Also some Chinese, not that mainstream media news outlets. So basically I get all my news through her. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Good place.
That's a very good comment. Guys, I have a comment for you, or maybe a question. So everybody's commenting on my hair lately.
Okay. Yeah, what's with your hair?
And Tim K just asked me, "Don't cut your hair. Business up front, party in the back." Now, guys, okay, about my hair. When I left China, I thought it wouldn't be for, very long, and I would be back in China. But now I'm caught on the outside here, and all the hairstylists and hair salons have been closed for 2.5 months. And you can't get your hair cut anywhere here. So, I mean, that is one of the main reasons. And you got to be very selective here, because most people don't use shears like cutters here. They use the clippers. The clippers. And I like the old style. And I don't know what you guys' experience have been with stylists, maybe in China. Tell us about it.
My wife cuts my hair, has for years and years. Beautiful, eh?
I just got my hair done. I don't know if you noticed, boys, because last time my roots were down to here, so I just got mine fixed on Monday because it's back open again. So
nice.
Thanks.
Now, NICO, how about my wife she loves to get her hair colored and stuff. It's an absolute fortune here in China. I know, Gweilo, you don't get your hair colored, or maybe you do. I love it though. It's like Richard Gere gray, man.
Well, yeah.
It's guys, have a look at that. It's awesome. It's great, man. I mean, so we'll get NICO back here in a second here, and we'll see if we can. Wesley, if you can kind of work out NICO, you might have to drop her signal out and she'll come back in. She's kind of frozen on my screen there. But have you guys had anything bad happen in a salon or anything like that? Jerry, you're nodding your head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, I want to tell you, this is how I choose my haircuts, right? This is how I do it. All right. Well, no, not really this one's, but I show them a picture. So I go in there because my Chinese are limited. I want to make it clear. After 5 years, I'm a lazy bastard. I know a little bit Chinese, but not too much, right? So anyway, I hop in there with a photo and I'm like, I want this one, this exactly photo. I want to look like this. And it looked like the lady understood me, right? And I said, do you understand? Nijidama? And she said, yes, sir, I understand. And I made it big and put the photo next to me, and I trusted. I just put my trust in her, and she went away and started cut my hair. Man. When I when I saw the final product, I looked like a complete joke. It was an undercut out of I think it was like the 50s or whatever, but it was like an undercut with a V here in the back of my head, man, like a V.
Awesome.
And I was like, seriously, does it look the same? And she's, yeah.
Oh, anyway, we lost Jerry on the feed there, but he'll be back. You know, it's quite funny. I mean, oh, here he's back. Okay, so Jerry, just to add to that, this summer, actually, no, a year ago, when I was in Eastern Europe getting my haircut in Estonia, we had an apartment in Estonia, my wife and I, and she said, for your birthday, let's go get your haircut. So I sit down in the chair and I say, okay. And, you know, my wife speaks Russian, Lithuanian. So she said, you know, explained it. And I speak Lithuanian. I do.
Oh, wow.
So, so we're sitting in this chair. And, yes, I studied for 2 years at university. Yeah, that's love and devotion. So, well, I'll give you Lithuania. Laba Diana, Cape Sakasi. There you go. Good morning, and how are you? So,
all right.
while I was sitting in this barber chair, I said, yeah, just a little off the back. So I heard this, the clipper, and then one quick zap, and I saw like about 5 inches of my hair fly, and I just said to my wife, Yulia, stop. And the guy that was beside me sitting in the barber chair, he was upset too, because the same thing was happening to him by another stylist. So there was anarchy hilarious. In the middle of a salon. And I said, how bad is it? She says, love,
you look at me.
It's bad. But the good news is you brought your baseball hat with you, so everything is going to be okay. And it was horrifying. But you know what? I'm all about actually excited to get back to China and go to a salon. But just an interesting question off the cuff here. This one's to NICO. I mean, for hair coloring and stuff like that, is it really like here in Thailand? It's about $150 to get your hair colored here. Is it the same in China, or is it?
Yeah, I thought it was expensive when I was in the UK, but it's like double the price here, especially in Beijing. In Nanjing, it was a bit cheaper. I went to this guy and it was a bit cheaper, and here in Beijing it's expensive. So I guess at least I save money on fake clothes, and then I can spend it on hair.
Oh man. Okay, so we're going to bring in Jiao in a moment here from Chongqing, and she can explain a little bit about her channel. Simon, thank you very much for the super chat. Love from Sydney. If we could put that up after the code there, Wesley, that would be great. That's the QR code for the show. Any donations there gets split throughout the channels to help support our channels. We put a lot of time and energy into this. We don't ask for donations, but if you give them to us, they are greatly appreciated. And anything that we get, we pretty much put back into the program to upgrade either the software or upgrade, you know, the help that we can get for the show, and so on and so forth. So on to, you know, Chow that we're going to bring onto the program. This lady, it was very helpful when I was arriving into Chongqing back in December, and opened up a lot of doors for us in that city. And as you guys know, my focus, as soon as I get back to China, I'll be back in Chongqing, and I will be working with a fair amount of vloggers, even some of these people on this panel, to put Chongqing on the map, and quite excited for that. Just wanted to say hi to Matt, Gweilo Nations, who did join the feed. Matt, guys, he has been very, very busy over the last 3 to 4 weeks. He's working on something. It's pretty amazing. I'm not going to get into details what it is, but suggest that you head over to his channel and subscribe as well. And I'm hoping he's going to be coming on the program soon to be promoting what he's working on. You know, I had a quick peek at it the other day, and it is, it's a lot. He's put a lot of time and energy into that. So Wesley, if we could remove that QR code, and that is the WeChat QR code if you want to help us out. If you don't see the QR code, you can see it in the link below there. And do not forget to subscribe to every one of these channels. We're going to bring in Zhao from Chongqing to come on to the panel, and we're going to ask this lovely Chinese lady what she likes and dislikes. Let's hear it from somebody that is from China. So welcome. Nice to see you.
Hello. Yeah, me too. Me too. Nice to meet you again. Thanks.
So we are welcome to the program. So as you know, the topic today is what we like and dislike about China. You're smiling. Something's on your mind. Tell us. We want to know.
Well, okay, this question actually I get first the topic. I know it's very interesting, you know, like to hear about you or talk about like what you like and dislike. And for me, because I'm Chinese, so really think about what I like and dislike, I really need to think about it to come out, because everything I get so used to it. Yeah, things that you noticed, it's just like become sometimes my daily life, and I don't pay much attention that much. So it takes some time. Well, okay, after think about while I've come out of some points that I feel like I can share. First is like the things I like. Okay, the things I like for sure, I would say it's about history and culture. I feel proud of that China has long history and the culture heritage, right? And but still, it's like more amazing that we get the chance now even to observe, to see these historical sites, you know, that's still in China, there are still a lot of historical sites that get well preserved. Even now we can go there and to, you know, feel connected and to see what's people long ago, really, how they think, what things they do, like that. For example, like early this week, I was shooting a travel guide episode for Chongqing with my colleague in a Dazhu rock carvings. It's a UNESCO heritage, actually. And it's the grotto, you know. Grotto is the way from very long time ago, the religious Buddhism, that it's in this format that it goes to China in the grotto way. So this rock carvings is over 100 years old already. And I've been there before, but this time I went there with a guide, you know, like they explain everything, the stories again, because on the rock carvings, it's about the religious belief, what people believe, their stories, what they believe 800 years ago, and they put it in stories about, you know, like how people, the hell and heaven thing in Chinese culture that even exists now, you know, in people's mind, like that. So the seeing these things is really amazing. I think, okay, it's good. China has long history, very nice. And it's even really good that for people that these get preserved, we still got chance today to experience it, to see the history legacy in historic site and even in the philosophy that influence how we think. So that's a part, sure, I like, I think. Okay, come to a part I dislike.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I think different people will have different opinions, right? Like quite personal experience like that. For me, we'll try to think deep. Okay, daily life, I'm totally fine, happy every day. And okay, there's work and for sure there's pressure. But I would think what I don't like, it come to a point, maybe come from my family or some friends. You know, like the voices of the different, for a girl to be pretty, that we got to be kind of slim, you know, like here we have this kind of I don't know whether you got me, like there are many voices for a girl to be pretty. Okay, you got to be slim at first.
If I'm understanding that right, there's many where am I going with this? Are you saying I want to, because this is the touchy subject in my house. I mean, you know, if my wife feels that she's 1 ounce overweight, she'll go to the gym probably 5 times more of this in a week. And I always tell her, you can't perfect perfection. And that's what I use each day. And, but I mean, so really, you feel that?
I'll tell you a story, you know. It's
okay.
Like, before I lived in Poland for 3 years. I worked and lived there just after my graduation from university. Then after graduation, actually, I kind of slim. I'm not that chubby or something. And when I went to Poland, and because of food and diet, like
Right.
food, let's say it's like a butter and cheese. I eat all these things, so of course I gain weight easily, very easily. And after. But my friends around, like Polish friends around, they are very nice. They would say, okay, why complaining? Okay, I gained some weight. I say, no, Xiao, you're not fat at all. What are you talking about? And I was like, okay, well, everybody around you is like very generous like that. Okay, I'm fine, I'm okay. Yeah. So, but when I do tele video, like WeChat video with my mom, and my mom feel like, Xiao, you got a look fat, right? I say, no, my friend said I'm fine, I'm not. So he cannot see my full figure. But when I come back to China, she received me in the airport. Oh, she can't believe it. She's like, you gain 5 kilograms or 6 kilograms at least or something, right? I said, come on, my friend say fine. He say, now you're back China. Follow the Chinese standard. You're overweight. You got to lose some weight. So my mom may be too strict for me on that, and I know that she's good for me. Like, you need to be on the camera, or you need to be, work and people more like you or something, right? So she's always say you need to lose weight. So I feel a little bit pressure, and some friends also tell me that. Yeah, when I see some pictures, they will say, "Oh, you get fat recently, get more chubby." So a little pressure on that, but I really hope we can be generous. You're fine. You're okay.
Xiao, I've met you many times, and this is the first time I've really seen you. You are quite funny. I didn't know. It's the first time I've seen this. We did get a super chat from a person I know really well, Tim K, and he said you're very genuine, and that's really nice of him to say that, and thank you for that contribution, Tim. And Tim also asked if my wife has drank the wine that he brought. I hid it on her, and this is a very special bottle, so she doesn't get to drink it. And I'm actually being kicked out of the house tonight with Michaela Ponte. How about that? That's girl power. There's going to be a little mini girls' night at my house tonight, and Michaela Ponte and I have to go out and risk being home. We got to get home before the curfew's closed. So we also have one more super chat that was just up there, just disappeared from the screen, but I'm not sure what it is. We'll get to that. I don't know whose channel that came in from, but anyway, we're going to...
That was on my channel, Takwe Lama. I appreciate all the hard work to make this channel work. Great topic today. By the way, China has a great watch replica market. So
good to know.
Yeah, so does Mexico. A Rolex, not Rolex. Rolex.
So, you were in Poland, okay, Xiao. So, how did it feel? And what were you doing in Poland?
Yeah, I was working there 3 years. First year as a Chinese teacher, and then 2 years as a trader, foreign trade doing there. It's great experience. Very good friends there, and it's give me a lot. Because going to another country give you a chance to to be objectively look at your own country and also look at the rest of the world. You have two views compared. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, do you feel like when you're in Europe and stuff? Do you feel like, okay, how is it for you? Like we're our topic today, is on the Let's Talk China show is what we like and dislike about China. But when you're traveling as a Chinese person, is it difficult to find we call them what do we call these guys? The comfort. What are they called? The little
comfort
things
zone?
Like the little things where like when you're in another country, like NICO, for example. What are some things that you like from the United Kingdom that are crisps? Maybe there's a certain type of potato chip crisps that make you feel at home.
Like the home comforts.
The home comforts is so.
The things that
Xiao, is there something when you're in Poland, for example, you're like, I gotta go out for hot pot, and if there's no hot pot in, let's say, Warsaw or something like that, I mean, how was the food when you were there? Like, I mean, I know you spoke about it, and your friend said that you gained a lot of weight, but is there something that you really are missing when you're outside of China?
Missing.
You know? Yeah, like
Okay,
is there
very good
something that
question.
you're is there something that when you're on the road, or I mean you were gone for 3 years, is there something like you're like, oh, I really want this, like maybe I really want to watch
Okay.
Chinese programs in my language, or you know, is there something that you're missing when you leave the country of China and you go to a foreign country?
Well, I should say everything actually, daily life and the entertainment and work went very well when I was abroad. Yeah, it's like I call my parents every day. So these things I don't feel that much like missing or something. It's change a totally different environment, and I totally get used to that. So if
Okay.
about the things missing, maybe it's about kind of like whether I don't can use the word dynamic. You know, in China, there's so many things going on. So many things going on. Like my life when I was in Europe is more slow. It's very nice,
Okay.
very comfortable. Like comparison, like on my WeChat moments when I check out my friends at my same age, they're kind of very busy. You know, like very busy for their career or for their work, and they are, I mean, like very dynamic. And they are productive in something. And I think that is, I'm a kind of person also want to, you know, like to bring my value, you know, to the surroundings or whatever, what I do, right? And I feel like these people are, my friends in China are working hard and deliver very good results or in their work or with family or like that. So I kind of feel, okay, this part a little missing. It's like be productive that much enough, like that. Yeah, that's, I think whether maybe you got me. Like that.
Well, my wife made a comment, you know, at the end of one of the videos, and she said she feels so safe to walk in such large cities in China. You know, I mean, NICO, you're a woman, you're in a major city. How do you feel at night?
Yeah, I totally agree. I was going to mention this earlier when we were talking about safety as from a woman's perspective. But obviously, there's sometimes that I'm not with my husband and I can be walking home from when I was in Nanjing, for instance, it was from the metro station at, you know, maybe 12 p.m. at night. And there's where I used to live in the suburbs, there wasn't that many people around, but I didn't feel ever unsafe. And here I live in the center of Beijing now. I live in the Hutongs, and even when I come home at night, it's just completely safe. Even at the day, it's safe. I mean, I know Alex mentioned earlier that some people find it a bit weird if people are looking at you, but I think in Beijing, a lot more people are used to seeing foreigners, so I don't really get that anymore. And safety is very big here. I've been to other countries where I haven't wanted to like let go of my bag here, and people just leave their bags or leave stuff on the table, and you know, it's a safe place to be. I think it's probably one of the safest countries I've been to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once you've got the Chinese in your blood, the vibe of these cities are just so. I've been trying to explain this to, you know, Michaela Ponte, that once you go there, and once it gets into your system, and Zhao, you made an interesting comment. There are slower parts of slower countries, and you know sometimes that's great and that's perfect for people. And then you come to China, and you're in the cities like Beijing, and you're in the cities like Nanning, and Jerry, what's your city again?
I'm in Qingdao, the capital beer city of China.
There you go. And then you
I gotta
then
come
you
visit you.
Yeah.
and then you get the, you know, the Shenzhen in there, you know, and then you get Chongqing, and it's infectious, and it's impossible. You know, there's nights where I just sit back and I say, come on, China, once these borders are open, I'm there. Everybody asks me, when are you going back to China? I said, the second, not the day, not the month, the second they lift restrictions. My bag is already packed. My visa's already ready to go. My flights are all ready to go. The Chongqing team are ready to pick me up at the airport, I hope, and we're ready to go. Brendan Lombardi had a question though before we get to you, Gweilo. Has anyone experienced discrimination since living in China? Anyone want to put their hand up for that one, or
No.
comment on it?
I haven't. But I did watch it in the Walmart here I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, where there was a black lady that was in line, and the Chinese wouldn't get close to her. Like they had no problem with me, but there was an older, maybe it was the older guy that was holding the line back, but she was up at the till all by herself, and you know how everybody sort of queues in and sort of pushes through type thing. He wouldn't get within 3 yards of her, so that she was in front of the till by herself, and everybody was standing back. So yeah, I saw that, and I thought that was a little strange. It's the first time I've ever seen that in China. And maybe it's because of the COVID thing. And,
it's COVID, you know, Kurt.
yeah.
I've got to tell you, we've experienced a little bit of this in Thailand too. They call, you know, the nickname for foreigners here is called Farangs. And,
Yeah.
you know, Ponty and I have seen people actually get on the other side of the street when we walk by. So it's more of, you know, media really, you know, pumping this up and kind of, you know, one time it's Italian countries, you know, because Italy had a lot of cases at the start. So, you know, when Ponte first got here in Thailand, you know, you say Italy and everybody would run. Thank you for the contribution, Ting Tao, on me, Jerry. That looks like somebody's got you a beer there, so big shout out for that. So, you know, we're gonna be now just closing off with the panel tonight here. And just wanted to say to everybody that, you know, how you help these channels and support us is by, you know, thank you for your Super Chat contributions. The QR code for WeChat is greatly appreciated. And as well as sharing our videos. That is the best you can do. And watch our videos. That is the best that you can do in helping us. And to make sure you continue to subscribe. Share, subscribe, share over and over and over again, because that really helps. That really helps everyone on this. Next week we got another new lineup, and as I was saying to you, the list continues to grow on the people that come on the show. And Jerry runs a fantastic program called This Is China. Jerry, when's your next show, and who is on it, or have you got a solid date for that yet? Or
Yes, sir. Okay, look, it's nothing compared to what you guys are watching today. So I would recommend every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Beijing time, tune in to go check out these guys. But I do my little show on my channel, which is called This Is China. And the show is, well, what's my show called? God damn it. Well, what's my show called?
This Is China.
No, I mean the show on my... I just, well, what the hell do I call that show?
Everybody, hey, but Jerry, Gweilo and I and the rest of the panel have a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
How do we get on your show? How does someone like us get on your show?
Listen now. I listen. I'll be WeChatting you guys soon, begging again, like what I did to get onto this show, for you guys to come onto my little show. Anyway, guys, really, it's a small little show that I do on a Saturday night, where I basically delve into all these YouTubers. I just ask them who they are. We get to know them, you know, like, not too personal questions, but you guys will know who they are. But that's not important. Be here Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Go check out this lovely NICO, lovely Ai Chongqing. I don't even know what your names are, by the way, but Ai Chongqing, Reporterfy Media, Alex, and Sir Gweilo. Guys, I think you are saying bye, am I right?
We're going to wind down there, and I want everybody to, you know, subscribe to all these channels, because it's really cool. We love, you know, putting out content. I just dropped a video yesterday, so I appreciate it if everybody goes and watches that with my lovely wife. I've been kicked out of that video. And the one that's coming up next, my next video is a little bit... I don't know. It's a bit sad because one of the people that were in the video has actually passed away, and it's one of the girlfriends. His girlfriend lives in Chongqing, and during the COVID, he went away with her to Malaysia and died in a motorcycle accident, and he was a big part of this video. It's heartbreaking, really.
So sorry.
And yeah, it's... Anyway, let's move on, and yeah, it was pretty hard to edit. That's for sure. So that'll be coming out next week. And from you, Gweilo, what can we hear from you next week?
Well, on Tuesday, I'm off with China Radio International to the Vietnam border, Detian Falls, that area, and we're going to be doing some video with them. And these guys are pretty big. I didn't know when I sort of hooked up with them that they've got they're in over 180 different countries. They're out in 44 different languages, and they have 3.3 billion viewers worldwide for China Radio International. So that's pretty good. So they're taking Wei Fong and I out on. We're going on a vacation from our vacation, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to do probably some tourism type of videos and whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. And when I'm out there, I'll have really nice backdrop, because you're talking like the karst mountains of Guangxi province. And oh yeah, it's so when I'm doing my regular stick, which I hope I can. That won't be green screen, guys. That's going to be the real Guangxi province that you're going to see behind me. I just wanted to say a couple more things. So tofu. How many of you guys like so tofu? Stinky tofu?
I've not
Oh,
tried
yeah.
it.
Oh, tofu, yeah.
You eat that?
I have no choice. I've got a Chinese wife. I have absolutely no choice.
Oh, see, that's one of the only things that I won't eat in China. It's so tofu. That's just, my God. And for everybody out there, there is no toilet paper in most of the bathrooms in China, the public bathrooms. That's another one of the things that I thought. I had a story about that, but we're running too long, so we're going to have to skip that.
Well, Xi Jinping, it's called the toilet revolution, isn't it? They're replacing so many. You guys heard about that?
They are.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
upgrading all of the public toilets. And I'd like to say a couple of shout-outs to Dongfang Shou. Thanks for the super sticker. Someone who loves burgers. I love burgers. That's his actual name. Xiao Sinran. Great talking, guys. And Cool Fly, I guess is what that is. Thanks for the super stickers and super chats, all of you.
So we're going to round that up, everybody, and a big goodbye to all of us, and thank you for the panel that's coming today. And once again, we have a very big week coming up next week, as a lot of the people here in our group need to discuss who's coming on these future programs, because the list is quite large. Sorry to say, we'd love to have everybody on, but there is a little bit of a queue. I will say a big queue, and we will put a poll out there next week to who you think that we should have on the show. It's quite a long list, so we might do 3 or 4 polls, because we've got quite a few names that have been suggested to us and vetted as well. So from all of us here on the panel today, and for the great help of Wesley in our backstage, big thank you to him. He runs we'll call it a how would you say it? Conservative, is that right, Wesley? Can you give me the hands up? Yeah, he runs a conservative talk show on YouTube as well. Old School Wolf Media is what it's called. So it's interesting chat over there for the Western people that want a little bit of after-hour stuff. And thank you to all the wonderful people that have joined us today. And the cool thing is that our entire there's the shoes.
I just want to stop by saying, guys, I promised you I will show you. Look, this thing is so old I don't even wear my laces anymore. It's my home shoes, but this is what you get for 150 RMB, and these bad boys are still awesome.
Oh, fantastic. So from all of us, a big goodbye, and make sure that you have a fantastic weekend. And please drop the comments in our community channels what you guys want to see as some of the upcoming topics on the next show, because we do put a lot of effort into it. Once this show ends today, tomorrow we take a break. Monday, everybody's back at organizing the show. Tuesday, we're getting the community channel posts ready. All these creators here are promoting, putting promotional videos out. And I think NICO also has another live stream that she'll tell her crowd about tomorrow, or today. I think it's tonight, isn't it? Or
No,
tomorrow
it's
night?
tomorrow.
Or tomorrow night. So you can update your channel and tell them what that's all about. And I wish you well on that. And Jiao from iChongqing, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you throughout these last few months, and I'm going to be back in Chongqing, wreaking havoc on YouTube and making that city extremely popular. Okay, everyone, big goodbye from all of us here, and thank you very much to everyone that's joined the program, and a big thank you out to all the moderators that have been part of this program. Goodbye, so long, good night, good day, and take us out of here, Wesley.